just waiting for the phone to stop ringing.
Left, right, shoulder. You got it.
Got Sam Moorfield starring as future recruit Nicholas. Stasson Brunson as recruiter. Look at that badge. Stasson Webster up in this thing as the interviewer. In action. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing Ask a Recruiter video, and I'm going to introduce you to Staff Sergeant Brunson. Go ahead and tell them a little bit about you.
Staff Sergeant Brunson, Charlotte, North Carolina. In the Army for a little minute right now. Not too long off the recruiting, so I pretty much got all the answers.
You ain't got the answer.
Y'all been probably been asking, so I'm ready to rock.
All right. So I'm going to be asking him, frequently asked questions that new recruits want to know when they're about to join the Army. So the first question is, why should I join the Army? I'm a new recruit. I'm in the recruiter office. Why should I join the Army?
I mean, it's different ways for the people coming to office and want to enlist. Some people do it for school. Some people do it for careers, money. You got to figure out, is it basically for you, because it's a big commitment.
Yeah, I agree. What are some of the requirements for joining?
First, you got to pass the entry test, which is the ASVAB. You got to be in pretty good physical condition, medical, health-wise, and moral standards, all this crazy law violations, stuff like that. You can't have that. Okay. It's pretty simple though.
So what is the minimum length of my service commitment if I was to join the Army? Like, what's the smallest contract I could sign?
It went down to actually 2 years.
2 years.
All right.
Okay.
I didn't see anybody sign that contract. So it's probably about 3.5. Normally it's 3.5, 4 years roughly.
Okay, but it's possible 2 years might exist out there for a contract. Not likely, but it's possible.
Possible.
Okay. How long is basic training?
It shifts. 9 weeks, 11 weeks, somewhere roughly around there.
Yeah.
Not long though.
And just the caveat on that, basic training really depends on you, because you can get there if you get injured, you can become a holdover, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So.
And the quickest way to get out of basic training is just going in, passing. Graduating. Because once you try to hold over, you quit.
Yeah.
If you quit in basic training, you'll pretty much see your graduating class graduate, and you will still be there. So it would probably just be beneficial for you to just go ahead and complete the training.
Yeah, that's the best advice. Go in, complete the training, get it over with, because you don't want to be a holdover. Can I choose when to go to basic training?
No.
So where will I be stationed at after basic training? How is that decided?
The Army is going to decide it for you. You're not going to choose your first duty station.
Do I even have a choice?
No.
None at all?
No. Don't go into it thinking that you have a choice of where you're going to be stationed at.
Yeah. And just to elaborate, so when you finish AIT, they'll give you a paper, you write down your top 3 choices, but that has no deciding factor.
Right.
Are there any bonuses, bonuses in the contracts, incentives? Like, how does that work?
Some people get bonuses. Depends on if the Army is short on the job. Not guaranteed a bonus. Definitely not guaranteed a bonus. I've seen anywhere from 5 to 10 to 20. I've seen 40 once.
All right, so we're going to talk about some medical stuff. Can I join if I have cancer, herpes, the clap?
STDs. Give me an STD.
The clap, gonorrhea, chlamydia, herpes, HIV.
HIV, I would say.
I mean, that's an automatic no.
Right.
And it's sad to say most people find out they have HIV when they go through meds. It's sad. It happens. Yeah. So say I got something that's treatable, am I allowed to join? Like, will they treat me and let me in?
Treatable, I would no. Treatable.
You still can't join?
That means you will go into basic training with an active disease that you got to take medicine for.
Yeah, so they're not going to treat it at meds?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, when you go to basic training, you're not taking any prescriptions with you.
Yeah, like birth control, none of that.
Birth control is cool, but I'm sure you're not taking that at the basic. You shouldn't need birth control.
Okay.
What's common?
Herpes. The bum bumps. So I came back from meth and they say I tested positive for herpes. You can't put me in the Army?
Nah, you're not coming to the Army with herpes. No.
Okay, what about gonorrhea? Syphilis? Chlamydia.
Gonorrhea. It's curable, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so that means you can be cured and you come into the office and you are.
Okay, you have a paper that say I've been cured. Okay.
There has to be medical documentation. That's with anything.
Okay. Can I join the Army with a felony?
Alright, so we start talking about felonies. Give me a felony, MP.
This goddamn phone. Hey.
Rape.
Oh, hell no.
You ain't coming in the Army on no felony rape charge.
You said a felony?
That means you gonna be raping people in that ain't home.
Not in our army.
Not in our army.
Not in our Army.
I guess levels, like you got traffic violations and stuff like that. I mean, as long as that stuff clear, you can have like as many speeding tickets in the world.
Okay.
As long as they pay it off.
Okay.
Good to go.
Can I talk to someone that does the job that I want to do in the Army?
Yes. Into the office, there's normally recruiters from a lot of different MOSs. If they're not in there to talk about their MOS, you normally know somebody in the Army that has that MOS. So what, you got a minute?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I got a guy here that wants to speak to you about 42 hours. So
Okay.
you got a minute?
Yeah, I got a minute. So I hear you're interested in becoming a 42 Alpha.
Yes, sir, I am. I would love to be in the human resources. So I'd just like to learn more about it. So.
Okay, well I can definitely give you more information, put you in the right direction.
Awesome, son. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So will I ever be deployed? And if so, where would I be deployed to?
Have the thought in the back of your mind that you will be deployed. If you are scared of a deployment or being stationed overseas, just don't even go into the office. Bottom line. Deployments, shoot, anywhere. Y'all watch the news.
Yeah.
And it's not just on the news, it's other stuff too. I mean, where I know people in Italy, Korea, South Korea, where we're in Kuwait now. What else?
Kuwait's not deployed. So let's list off a little bit. So you can potentially be deployed to Afghanistan, Iraq, Lebanon, right? Djibouti. Ain't that in Africa? Djibouti. You can end up in Turkey, Kuwait, Syria is a big one. There's plenty of places you can deploy to, so just have the mindset that if you're going to join the military period, you could potentially be deployed. Say I want to be a 42 Alpha. What's the minimum ASVAB score I would need to join the Army?
All right, so minimum ASVAB is a 31.
Okay.
That's to even be considered, eligible. After you take the ASVAB, you have line scores that are also calculated. So you have to look at your line scores. I know some people at one point, I know numerous people, they scored 31 eligible to join the Army, but none of their line scores was high enough to get a job.
A good job.
Any job.
Any job. Wow.
So it's like, hey, when you barely making a 31, you tell somebody, you gotta retake the ASVAB because we gotta boost up their line scores.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just to touch on that a little bit, so the job that you potentially want, like I wanted to be a human resource specialist, so I knew that I needed to score high on the clerical part of the ASVAB, right? I would say look up the line scores for the specific job you want and then aim for those line scores.
Just because you qualify for a job from the line scores, it doesn't automatically mean that you're gonna get that job. Right?
Absolutely.
It goes on seating and availability. Like the Army is already, they thinking years ahead, right? So 42 Alpha, whatever you want that, you qualify for it. And then once you sit down with a recruiter, then you're gonna be wondering why that's not one of the jobs you can pick from. That's because that seat, that training seat, is already filled, right? And
also, speaking from experience, once you get a job, it's not locked in until you complete MEPS and sign your contract. Like for me, if y'all saw my previous video from way back in the day, I was temporarily disqualified because I was fat. I was a 42 Alpha at first. Had to temporarily disqualify, came back, and then my new job was a 92 Alpha. That's just what it was. So also keep that in mind. If you get temporarily disqualified, the job you may have had in the beginning, you might lose in the end unless you know somebody like I did. So the most common question for males is, will I get my hair cut once I go to basic training?
Oh yeah, hair gonna be cut. Gonna get a little straight ball.
Hospital haircuts, what I call it. And then what about females?
I know what they do when they get the drip. I ain't no drips on.
That's where I come in, you know, because I was a female in basic training. I mostly wore my hair in a gel bun. You have very limited time as far as showering, getting dressed, doing your hair. I highly suggest you don't go in with weave in your hair because you won't be able to maintain it. So that includes box braids, sew-ins, wigs. Don't do it. Those are pretty much all the questions that I have for you today, Staff Sergeant Brunson. I do want to thank you for coming on to LifeOfChanny, talking to the future recruits of the Army. We do thank you for your service as a recruiter. Anything else you would like to tell people?
Good luck with the process. Be committed.
Again, thank you, Staff Sergeant Brunson, for your time. And until next time, see y'all in the next video. Bye. You have to get the giggles out the way. All right. Stop making me laugh.
You ain't say we was doing all that.
Just tell them about you.